Hello and welcome to another Friday morning, another glorious Friday morning. The sun is shining as we continue to enjoy this bit of Indian summer. I hope your week has been a good one and that you've achieved all the things you've wanted to achieve. I've had a good week. I've been doing some recording for BBC for Songs of Praise. We've been actually this year for the first time televising the Young Chorister of the Year. And this is going to go out around Christmas time. As ever, I've just been constantly amazed by the incredible standard of some of these young singers across our country, 11, 12-year-olds who just sing so beautifully. So that was a real privilege for me. It's been wonderful to look around the country and to see so many cathedrals coming back with their choirs, starting off with the men, and now the choristers are all rehearsing, and things are starting to get back a little bit more towards normality. Although, of course, we've just had this latest regulation put upon us about meeting with only 6 people, which has thrown things into a bit of confusion. There's a bit of excitement in the parish of I nearly said the parish of Warwick, the parish of Swanage, because tonight, for the first time, we are actually going to have a choir practice. It's the first time, I don't mean ever, in 6 months really, we're going to have a COVID-safe choir practice. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work, because we've got to make sure everyone is spaced out, equidistant, but very much looking forward to seeing everyone this evening. And when Boris Johnson announced the latest restrictions, everyone was thinking, gosh, maybe we're going backwards again. I don't know what's going to happen, but we hope that gradually in St Mary's we'll be able to develop the choir again and to get back to some singing of services. So fingers crossed. We'll see how we get on tonight. Anyway, in the meantime, we are continuing with our online services, www.swanageteam.com, I think that's right. And there's a short liturgy for this Sunday and some lovely hymns for you to sing along to. So do join us online. Do join us in person on Sunday at St Mary's at 11 o'clock if you're able. And for those of you who are not in the church choir, think of us tonight at 6:30 as we start to use our rusty voices for the first time. So, to my suggested piece of music for this week, I had some really nice comments about last week, so I was thinking, what could I introduce you to this week? And I thought I'd go for something really obscure, something that a piece that I was told about years and years ago, and if I hadn't specifically been told about this piece, I'd have never known about it. It's a setting of the Eucharistic hymn Tantum Ergo. The words, the text, have inspired many composers to write the most beautiful communion motets. The piece that I'm going to suggest to you today is sort of niche in a way. I'm looking down because the dog is here looking at me. I think he wants feeding, but you've just had to do breakfast. It's rather Victoriana, and for the purists among you, you might think it's a bit too cheesy, but I completely love it. It's by there goes the dog there, you see. It's by a composer called George Henschel. That's Henschel. Henschel was born in 1850, and he was born in what was then Prussia, now Poland, I think. And he studied, music was his interest, he studied as a pianist, and then started studying singing and realizing that he had an amazing singing voice. And so he developed his singing. He apparently was a basso profundo, but then turned into a really amazing baritone. He was friends with Brahms, pretty cool. There's the dog wanting to get in. He was friends with Brahms, and he became a very successful baritone. But not only was he a great baritone, but he trained as a conductor too. And in slightly later life, he became the very first ever conductor of the Boston Symphony Orchestra. He was also a composer of some note. He wrote a Stabat Mater, he wrote a Requiem, he wrote quite a lot of lovely music. But he wrote this Tantum Ergo, which is set for full choir, organ, and in the middle it has a little baritone solo, which I presume was written for himself, or sort of a nod to his particular voice. And it starts nice and gently, and it sort of gradually builds up, and then you have this baritone solo, and then the full choir come in with the full organ, and it really is deliciously amazing. As I say, it might not be everyone's cup of tea because it is rather romantic. It sort of gets you here a little bit, but I completely love it, and I think I could probably sell it to you. It's not too difficult, so it's something which perhaps at St Mary's at some point we could consider doing. We shall see. Anyway, Henschel, Tantum Ergo, and I'm pointing you to a recording by All Saints Margaret Street a number of years ago, directed by Harry Brammer, old friend of mine, who was the director of the RSCM for many, many years. In fact, it was Harry that told me about this piece. And actually that record is as full of unknown gems, all Victoriana, deliciously, yeah, well, anyway, you look up the record as well if you like, but I hope you enjoy that. So, now I think I'm going to go back downstairs to my piano, just for a few warm-up exercises. So here I am down at the piano and ready to do a few little exercises. So making sure that we're either sitting up straight back, feet on the floor, or standing up straight. Let's just start off with a couple of sirens, just starting off low and just going through your register. That's the idea. Just sort of gradually ease into that and just sort of stretch the register as you go along. One more time. Okay, and you can do that as high as you like, or as low as you like, or just stay safe in the middle. So how about, let's start here. Let's start with Ma, and then we're going to change it. We're just going to go like this. Ma, 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 ma. And then we'll change it. All right, so we start going ma, 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 ma. 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 Let's change to Pa. Pa, 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 pa. And change to La. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. And now Ha, and just let that diaphragm kick in. Ha, 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 ha. 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 I'm not very good right up the top there. Little idea there. Now, let's do some Ya, and let's do an exercise just slightly different from what we've done before. Just go like this. Ya, ya. Oh, well, then try ya, 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 right? Ya, 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 ya. So 5 yas and ah and an ah. Yeah, okay, with me? Ya, 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 ya. Semitone higher. Ya, 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 ya. Ya, 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 ya. Ya, 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 ya. Next one. Ya, 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 ya. One more. Ya, 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 ya. Okay, and just one more silly exercise, just something else I thought of the other day. We'll start off a sort of twangy sound, staccato, and then more legato, and we go up and then we go down with that exercise, okay? And this is the word, N-Y-A, nya, nya. So when you go nya 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 nya. Quite legato, it's quite staccato rather, and then we're going to change to on the way down. So we go up to nya and come down to and we'll go up a little way. So here we go. Here we go. So nya 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 nya. 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 One more. Nya 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 nya. And now legato. Good, well done. Hope that was all right for you. Just gives you a few little warm-up exercises to keep you going. So I hope that you have a good week. And something I haven't said for many, many, many months is for the St Mary's Choir people, see you tonight for choir practice. And hopefully for all our friends who come to our Come and Sing, it's not going to be too long before we can start up the Come and Sing as well. So we'll be able to see you. But do come along to any of our services at any time. But in the meantime, stay safe. See you soon.